And we are live. Wednesday night with those guys and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. And as you know, those guys. Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. So this is where we talk about everything in the drone world. And why do they keep putting these numbers up? Everything in the drone world and promote the usage of drones. And if the weather has been nice where you are, please tell me how the weather has been where you are. And if you've been able to get out and fly. Let me know how it is. How you doing there, Lawrence, on this beautiful Wednesday? Well, I know how you are. I talk to you. I see it every damn day. And except for on the weekends, you know.
Yeah. We don't talk on the we still talk on the weekends though, but not as much. It's like you watch your sports and I'm playing Xbox. That's what we've come to doing when we have free time.
Well, I mean that's what it is. I mean, we're busy out there. I hate to say it, it doesn't even sound that good. But out there on them roads.
Yeah, I agree. But those of you who don't know, Herman and I have been commuting for the last 2 weeks back to Connecticut.
Well,
and it was fun. It was fun in the beginning, but now it's like we just wish you'd hurry up and get the work done so we can get back to New York to stay. No, man. That's what it's about. I mean, other than that, I'm doing good. I'm good. I'm still tired.
Yeah.
Let me see what's up to everyone that's in the chat now, including the workers. We got Jack Rabbit, Waypoint, Wedge and Big, John Olson, RJ Ariels, JC Flyings. I did say John Olson, I think. Jack Scott, Jack Rabbit, SJM was here. Philip Koshak. Also.
Jody was here first.
Jody was here first. Okay. Yeah. I did. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. He's probably riding on his way home now as Frank Rizzo. We should see him pop in. And then Corey too, YACL. Star Performer, hello from Oregon. How are you? And welcome to the stream. You know what? I'm testing this on this restream on my channel too, but don't go anywhere. Stay here. I'm just doing it to make sure that it can stream to my channel. No sound and the chat is blank now, he says on this one here. Okay, so we got to work out those issues. Maybe there's a delay or something. JC on my channel.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, what's up with you?
Listen, I'm good. I'm wonderful. I'm having a good time. I'm busy. But
it's a good busy.
I'm busy.
Yeah. It's a good busy. Trust me when I tell you. All right. JC said there's no sound on my channel, so I probably have to work those kinks out at another time.
There's no sound. How is there no sound?
I don't know. I haven't pulled it up. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's keep going with the stream. I'll pull up my channel and look at it. So,
say what's going on there, Scott? How's it going? I see Scott in there in the chat. Jack Rabbit. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. Because I'm not. I don't like to crowd the mic. You know. I could bring it a little.
There's sound here.
I could bring it a little closer, but I'm afraid with this Yeti microphone, the cord is kind of funky.
Oh, it says you got the same problem as me. If I look at it too hard,
I believe that everybody gets that problem with the Yeti mic.
But see, you leave yours plugged in. I don't. I always unplug mine.
Doesn't matter.
Well, same thing, huh? Okay. Well, anyway, How's everyone? Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. It is what it is. We are back for another live stream. We had one
we're
last
here.
week from the road, didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. You know what? I kind of wish we would have gone longer, but
You got to set up
interested.
cameras, man, to switch between cameras.
Yeah, we would have to. But the problem also occurs that where, like what you're saying, without that, the traffic, I gotta pay attention to the traffic. It's kind of hard to look at camera.
Yeah, see, you were supposed to be driving, but the big ham that you are had to look over the camera. Hey.
Well, I gotta tell my story.
Even people in the chat were like, yo, just drive, man. But it was interesting. We have to do that again and set up cameras this next time. For sure. Definitely.
I'm skilled like that. What's good, Jim? I'm skilled like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I just want to make it home safely too.
Then what happens is you always pull out the put your vest on.
Yeah. It's a bad habit. I jump out of the car, throw the vest on, I'm ready to go to work. That's what happens. Plus, if you see a stranger around with a bright vest on, you go, oh, he's not up to anything. And then people tend to drop their guard and leave you alone. No?
They do.
Yeah. People see you with a vest on. Oh, he's got to be working. Like we went into, I think it was Starbucks. There's those old people that were sitting by the window, and I hear one of the old guys behind us. Oh, they're drone pilots. And then the lady says, "What do you know about drone pilots?" I don't know. They're drone pilots. I didn't bother turning around. I thought it was amusing, though. But anyway, how's everyone's week? Has anyone gotten a chance to fly? What's going on in the world of Facebook? Because I've had very little time to even be on there.
Well, I'm quite sure you've caught up, but
yeah.
As far as the world of drones, I mean, I did ask everyone how's the weather where they are, but what I did want to say, we got a lot of stuff going on tonight, and a few things that we want to talk about with before Ryan comes in. Was he got some crazy stuff going on over there?
There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, some of it you've heard already, but a few other things that some cases that and where they've gone since you last heard about them. But we got a couple of things we wanted to talk about. Well, actually, to mention for you, as we always mention, the commercial UAV expo, drones in action, September 3rd through the 5th. Yeah, that is September 3rd through the 5th of this year at the Caesars Forum. So feel free to, if you're in the area, check that out. If you're interested, that's something for you guys to check out what's going on in the commercial industry. I guess you probably see where a lot of the American companies could probably step up and do their thing at this event.
Right, and if worse comes to worse, you'll damn sure get to find out what's happening in the drone world, at least on the professional end.
Exactly.
Because I don't think they have a whole lot of recreational stuff happening here. For recreational pilots, I mean, information-wise, you may be thinking about trying to learn how to fly a fixed wing. You may want to see what they plan on using for delivery, etc.
Like I said, if you're in the area, then
are you
going to be in the area?
Yeah, so it could be quite interesting to go to. I wish they had something like that a little better, closer to the East Coast.
Really?
Well, think about it. They have one on the West Coast. You might as well have one here eventually.
Really? Okay.
They should.
I don't know.
Anyway, see, RJ Ariel says he's driving, but he's using voice to chat, probably. No sound and 2 versions of a show, but it's all good. No, I am actually jumping back and forth between my channel and there. I see everyone else doing it. I figured I would restream and see what happens. My show is, my concern is over here. We just did that as a test to see what was going on. Maybe we could pull in a few views to the video, to the channel and stuff like that.
I wonder why there's no sound.
Come on down the minefield. I wish we could, Philip, but we need to finish up some work this week in Connecticut. If we can finish up before the weekend or by the weekend, I'll probably stay home and play Xbox and eat ice cream or something.
Oh, wow.
Because it's supposed to be a heat wave the next few days.
Something like that.
Yeah, which FYI,
you're gonna be working in it.
I'm asking you right now, can I wear shorts tomorrow? We work together, so I'm asking, can I wear shorts tomorrow? This will be the first time all year.
Listen, that's up to you. I personally feel that shorts is kind of like unprofessional, but that's up to you.
Well, we are independent contractors.
Whoa.
I'm just being an ass, but I may wear shorts tomorrow because it's going to be 93, and we don't know what we will encounter tomorrow. I know at the firehouse we've been there before, but the other place we don't know what's happening there. So I figure I might as well be ready.
I hear you.
I keep hearing about it, but don't know what's going on. Are you driving hands-free, Ron? Oh,
who? What?
Oh, Minefield. They're talking about Minefield, August 24th and 25th.
Oh,
Should be fall by then.
It's
Hey, Philip, we fly all year round here in New York.
That sounds like camp.
Minefield?
Yeah. No.
August 24th and 25th?
The time. Yeah, I'm being camp.
Oh, you'll be oh, that's right. You'll be football camp with the team. When those bugs start eating him, he'll wish he had some pants on. All right. I'm wearing pants tomorrow. Never mind. Thanks, Draymond. We were chased by wasps at one site.
You understand what I'm saying, right, Draymond? He don't get it.
Okay. I'll wear long pants tomorrow. You did say bugs, and yeah, I did get ate up yesterday.
That's why I wear khakis.
Okay, all right.
Lightweight, cool.
Yeah, lightweight and cool. I'll wear my khakis tomorrow too. I guess that's the closest I can get to wearing shorts. Yeah, thanks, Draymond, for reminding me. Star Performer. What does it say? What do you make of the SS drone not being able to launch at the Trump rally 13th in Pennsylvania? I read the article and he said, "Oh, I don't know anything about that. We just do drone news here. I don't know anything of that SS drone story at all. I haven't even heard about it."
That kind of is drone news.
I heard about it, but I choose not to talk about it. That's all.
Okay. I mean,
what's tomorrow? We back in Connecticut tomorrow, man. Tomorrow morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Okay. Well, you know what? I just wanted to mention, everybody wanted us to throw a little meetup or something like that.
Oh, yes. New
York. So I told you last week that we were going to throw a meetup. We're going to have a little meetup and a little barbecue here in New York in September, because Draymond said that would be the best time to have it was in September. So we're going to have it in September. We told you the date. So
Not bad, not bad.
Well, that's
Just
what
turn that volume down a third. It was screaming. But it sounded good, and it went with the video.
So myself, but it was already there.
Hey, Michael Blades, I see he's over on the other channel. I'm bouncing back and forth. You've finally been able to catch a live stream. That's what's up. We appreciate it. Well, Michael Blades was over on my channel. But Philip Koshak says he lost his hearing. If you had headphones in, you got my attention. I'm like, see, I told you. If they weren't in the room, they came running. No, that's okay. That's good, though. That's good. I found that out with StreamYard. You have to turn it down at least a third to halfway on anything you play.
I didn't see it.
You got everyone's attention. What's up, Johnny Drone Flyer? How are you? Flying Flynn, John, what's up? How are you all? Copper State Aerial, I'm sorry. I didn't
Hold on a second.
Huh?
Hold on a second. It was loud to me.
It was loud to you too? Okay. Next time we'll do a test run. It sounded like I was at a damn concert. That's okay. And now we know what to do to get you guys. That was a third the wrong way. No, he has to turn it down anywhere from a third to half on StreamYard. StreamYard seems to play music very cleanly.
So that's that's funny.
Yeah,
that was loud.
Philip says his dogs are howling. You got nothing to fear. Okay. Anyway, welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. We're just having fun and starting to get used to this StreamYard thing here.
Oh, that was totally funny. Oh yeah. No, but yeah, that's the.
I got to work with you and get a background. Everyone has a background around their photo. We got to work on that. Find something.
Okay, but that's the location.
Yeah, that's where we will be flying. If you're in the New York City or tri-state area, because we have a few people that came from New Jersey and other parts of New York, even upstate New York. If you're in the area,
or Connecticut,
we will be at Calvert Vaux Park.
That's the location. There'll be plenty of water, burgers, and hot dogs, and water available.
Yeah.
You still there, Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Unless my mic disconnects by itself, which it sometimes wants to do.
Don't worry about it. And also, keeping right along, coming up also later on this year is the Vegas drone meetup. That's going on November 8th through the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weekend of Memorial Day. So if you plan to make it, you can book your hotels and everything. Your hotel.
That's the one from what's the group? I can't think of the name of the group. The old guys.
The old.
I'm sorry, I don't mean it like that. We're all old. Damn. We are all up in age, I should say. I don't consider myself old.
Okay, well, you got to be an old fart to be in the group.
Okay, the old farts with drones. That's the name of the group. See, I'm not on Facebook much these days. I usually come home and eat dinner and watch TV for an hour and go to sleep.
I always see stuff you post, but that's maybe you're not there. Maybe you got a ghost poster. I don't know. I don't know. You got somebody working you.
I post a picture on the weekends or something like that. That's the only free time I have. Sometimes, most of the time.
Okay. Well, moving along because we got to get going on this here.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to speak to you about, and we mentioned this last week when we were on the road, that there was a firmware update for the Mavic 3 Classic series. if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know. So if you guys did that update, there was also one for your RC and the RC Pro. So I hope you guys did that. It worked out a few bugs and kinks that was going on with the system. A lot of these bugs and kinks. It's funny, guys been enjoying the damn product for the last 3 years and shit. You now figuring out the bugs and the kinks in it and getting it all worked out now. And then now you're gonna probably slap us with another one. Boom, right? I love it. And this is what I love about the firmware update. Because after you buy the product, you can finally now own the one that you actually bought 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought the Mavic 3, 3 years ago? There's now about almost 3 years ago. There's now a firmware update that works out all of the bugs.
Right.
So I finally brought the drone that I originally bought. I finally got the drone I originally bought 3 years ago. Or 2.5 years. It's not quite 3 years yet.
Okay. I was just responding to someone in the chat. Hey, Ronnie, what's up? I'm sorry. I don't see you guys in the other chat because I'm not used to having my window open.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
And Dan also. Yes, I do. I get it.
All right. So that's where that gets weird. So anyway, moving right along. We also mentioned that there was one for the Mini 3 Pro and also for the remote. So I hope you guys that have that drone did that, and moving right along, because that was the big hitter about a year or so ago. Almost 2 years now. Oh yeah, about 2 years. About a year ago. I don't know. I lose track now because they just keep hammering them out like it's a game of 21.
Well, see, that was the objective, so that you get so used to seeing DJI out there when they come out with something, either you're a fanboy and you get it, or you use what you got. But they've flooded the market. In any industry, you ask what drone do they use? What do they say? When's the last time you heard someone say, "I use a Skydio"? I'm just saying.
I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, how heavy is the door that you need to be held open?
True. That you have a valid point there. Yes, there is a update for goggles. We have a story about that too, Johnny.
The Goggles. Yes, the Goggles.
Yes, the Goggles.
Yeah, there's an update for the Goggles, and also the dock, the DJI dock 2 added support for the multi dock. So now you can hop from dock to dock like a frog.
Well, they say that's for long distance work. So the drone doesn't actually have to go back to its original dock. It could go out 2 miles and link up with another dock that may be closer. I think that's pretty high.
Yeah, okay,
But provided you have an empty dock. You see, because usually when you buy one, it comes with the drone.
Right.
I'm assuming you may want to set up a dock if you're 2 miles away and you're inspecting lines. You may want to set up one 1.5 miles away or 1 mile away.
Well, I think that might be for when like dock drones might be in sequence use, that maybe can flip from dock to dock.
Right.
That's what makes it possible. It's like if you have more than one.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you literally take it and you have one at home point. Home point is ground zero, your main office. Then you may have that go out and do lines inspect lines 1 mile, 1.5 miles away. And at the 2 mile marker, you may have another box to go even further. I could see that happening.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because here we go now.
Hey, Dan.
Embedding of subtitles, you can do that directly into the video now. So they can mark off mark that 2 mile marker that you're talking about. And the return to home has got this return to home network. If it loses control, it'll go, I guess, to the back to the dock.
Right.
Yeah. And they've also optimized the propeller. Well, pretty much what they're doing with the propellers is that the dock, I guess, is running an inspection.
Some kind of lasers that inspects the actual propellers after every flight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a smart ass box. I mean, it can inspect the propellers. I'm assuming.
I'm going to explain to you what happened with that, and that's where the beyond visual line of sight and all that stuff came in, was where they were able to do that with the docks because of the cameras are able to monitor everything.
Yeah,
on those docks, all of them have the ability to monitor the drone completely.
And it's something else they added to the software, which is the advanced flight route.
Mm-hmm. For the return to home.
Yeah. For returning to home and being able to scan complex shapes now, because now man does not build buildings in a regular square anymore. They got to build them with holes in the middle and pools extending from one building to another, like they have here in Manhattan.
Shaped like face masks.
Yeah, that's true. Another building face shaped like a mask. So now with this advanced flight route option added to the software of the dock, you will be able to scan and map more complex objects and shapes. And there's something that has to do, it may be the wrong story. Maybe I scrolled down too far. Has something to do, not optimized battery. Which one is it? I think we got it already.
Yeah.
Oh, panoramic waypoint routes. Supposedly you can see more. The wider the screen, the more you can see. So you can set waypoints and use a panoramic mode. I guess that would be for scanning wires. You cover a larger area with a wide screen, wouldn't you? At a horizontal plane. That's just me babbling. In the circles that you fly, which is more real estate surveying? Oh, now let's be honest here, Lawrence. In the circles that you fly, which is more real estate surveying? DJI would be the drone of choice, but when it comes to agricultural, totally different story.
Who says?
Yeah, I would agree. Dan, I would agree with that, Dan. You know why? Because agriculture covers miles and acres, so you would want to do that with a fixed wing. Definitely, DJI does not have any fixed wings. In fact, you know what?
And saying as far as what?
Hey, NYC guy. He's just saying in general, if you were to do mapping or real estate, there is, or say surveying, there is only but so much DJI can do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, when you're saying as far as agriculture, in what way? You mean mapping the field?
Right. Yeah. We would say, as opposed to using a DJI drone now DJI drones have mapped acres. I'm not saying they can't, but in this situation where you have 200 acres, you may want to use a fixed wing. They can definitely go higher and they can cover more.
I hear what you're saying, and as far as drones being implemented into agriculture, there is no other drone.
Yeah.
So I don't know, in the drone space. I get what you're saying as far as being able to cover more with the fixed wing, but as what is being implemented, there is no other drone being implemented other than DJI drones into agriculture.
Oh, I see what he's saying here. It's not just surveying; it's crop dusting and all of that stuff that falls on Parrot because
no,
Parrot
I get what
has
you said.
drones for agriculture, agricultural drones.
Okay.
They got out of the market for that reason. It's not an easy market. But getting back to what you were talking about with this dock here, I wish I could afford one.
Really?
Yeah, it'd be nice. Have it patrol the yard and have my neighbors on a plan too. You want your yard patrolled as well when the dock goes off, when it takes off?
Neighbors will be
Is he
like,
owning one of those on your property?
the neighbor will be like, let me get this straight. It takes off and it watches and looks around. Anytime it hears anything strange going on, okay, cool, fine. It looks around the house and makes sure that everything is going on good around the house. Now, who can see this, me or you?
Oh, we'll see. That's why you
and that's all the trouble starts.
Yeah, you're right. Then
Can
you
you
have to sell a subscription.
Can that thing see into my bedroom?
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
All right, let's get on. We got to get through some of these stories.
Yeah. We gotta move on. Or else we're gonna have to a little bit. Yeah. Well, anyway, what I wanted to mention was last week, it seems like there's been a little bit of drones flying over at the Olympics. But what I wanted to mention before that was that your boy, OsitaLV, and Igor from what's that?
From
Quadro
X. Yeah.
From Quadro News. They've been pumping out some pictures and stuff that I noticed. There was one little blurry picture that they put out of what supposedly was like supposed to be this Air 3S. Yeah, I'm quite sure everybody saw that. That one.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah, I thought that one was a little crazy.
It was typical DJI, blurred out, so you can speculate as much as you can.
And then they had this one here that was put out, and I'm quite sure everybody saw all of these on Twitter that was released. But they had a video about that they showed with some guys flying in this thing from a bridge or whatever, and it was like, I don't know, a drone looking at him from the bridge while he was on the bridge that was out there. And they put these little videos and stuff out to get everybody hyped up about another drone.
Yeah.
What happened?
Go ahead. I'm just reading the chat. Go ahead.
And I thought that was kind of crazy. You wouldn't happen to have that video, Lawrence?
Of which one? Of the 3S?
Yeah.
Of the 3S, I actually do have it. I can share it right here. Give me a second to share.
With the guy on the bridge?
Yep. I got it right here. This is it. And
see, like, ooh, I caught you. Yeah, we got video. Guy
he zoomed in, and that's where the picture came from.
Right.
But that camera is pretty big there. It's mostly camera. That's what it looks like. Yeah, let's just show it one more time and so you guys can get a close-up of it. But the Air 3S now, I did mention a while back that the next drone that they would probably be coming out with, if you wanted to keep an order, would be the Air 3, and everyone was like, no, we want the Air, the Mavic 4 to come out already. But, hey, Explicit, what's good?
But there wasn't any more videos on that with that drone flying?
With the Air 3?
Yeah.
Not that I saw of, but I did see videos of something else out there.
Well, before we go any further, I just think that they put these things out is just funny that they push these things, and I guess it's to get the hype going about the next drone coming out. But like I said before, we finally got the Mavic 3 series that we originally bought 2 and 3 years ago. So
yeah, you're right.
Thanks for showing up. But
yeah.
The interesting thing that I did see was this one, Mark. What's this? Another drone from DJI?
Yeah.
This some Neo drone?
The Neo. Yeah.
Some FCC ID and everything going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is something that they snuck in, right? They had, but
that
I think
under the radar, nobody was thinking about.
Is this what it's supposed to be? Is that it? I don't know. Who knows? You know what it looks like? It looks like it's part mini, part what's the Avata, part I don't know. What's that little joint that they made?
The Spark. It looks like a Spark / Avata had a baby, but they have video footage here, and I know you guys have seen it.
It looks like a grown-up Tello.
Let me kill that sound. Yeah, and supposedly they mentioned something about it being foldable, but I don't see anything foldable on this one here. So that may just be speculation, but this is the hottest video. They believe it's the old Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an old Spark, but it has ducts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of it. I honestly
that's in the pictures that they have on there.
And then here's the Air 3S again. Which seems to have that same 360 obstacle avoidance that they're going to be putting on all of their birds now.
So I don't know what the hell's going on.
I won't say all of their birds because they're barely doing it with the
that same kid sitting there and on the what do you call it? There was a video of him flying that little flying, but I don't know if that's the same drone or whatever. Who knows?
Right, exactly. You're right. We do not know if it's the same drone, but that's what they're calling. Oh, Explicit. I told him we were out in Connecticut. What were some of those towns we were in? Dansbury.
Who knows? I mean,
we were in Danbury. What other ones we were
in a few places east and north of Hartford.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah, because he lives in Connecticut. I told him we were out in this area, but it was only for work.
Yeah, we were in a few places up there near Hartford, and also east and up north of Hartford.
Oh, I don't know where Enfield is. Ooh. Oh, you're just under Maine. Okay. Oh, what's up, John Coopy? How are you, man? Hope all is well.
What's going on, man?
We missed the first sponsor by about 13 minutes.
By how many? Oh, I'm sorry, but we can catch it right now.
For drone news and tech talk, tune in on Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to Wednesday Night with those guys.
Okay. How was that? How was the volume on that? That was good.
That was good. That was decent. That wasn't screaming at you.
I don't know how to adjust the volume on them.
I think you have to do it on. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I would believe it's on every individual one, but I could be wrong. I don't know StreamYard that well.
I hear you.
All right, what are we going on to with next?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As far as you FPV guys is concerned, this is right up your alley, Lawrence, because now the Goggles 3,
Yeah.
you can now use them with your O3 Air units. So the FPV community, this is big news for you guys. No, now you can use your goggles with your Avata 2 and your FPV drones that you build with the O3 Air units in it. So what you think about that, Bud?
That's good because for people who planned on upgrading in the future, if you wanted to get the Goggles 3, now would be a time you could get them and you could still fly your old O3 Air units. Now, as far as Walnut and that other digital system similar to DJI, you will not be able to use that stuff as of yet, but that's probably could be done in a software update.
How you know?
It's that simple because they're giving the Walnut and all of those digital systems are mimicking the O3 system at a different price mark. That's all.
There is an actual firmware update for the O3 unit.
Yes, yes. But if you have an O, go ahead.
And for your controller, if you're using the DJI joint.
Right now, see, I'm still on my V2 goggles. Why? Because I can wear old Cadix. I can play old Cadix video units. I could play DJI O3 unit. And most of my stuff is either Cadix or O3. I haven't converted everything over to O3 yet because by the time I do that, O3 will become O4, and so on. So I'm not rushing to do any of that. Switching over from Cadix and all of that. I have to switch in my goggles still with the V2s from Cadix to the O3 unit in the goggles and then reset them and all of that, but I don't care.
Had you done them all one time, you'd have been all right.
If I'd done them all one time, I wouldn't have to work.
You know it'll be the issue then, right?
What?
You would have had them all done right about now and repairing them, and then this would have happened.
Yeah, right. But now this also tempts people to go out and get the 3 goggles now, who have the Air unit.
And then you know what would have happened after you got all of them repaired?
What happened?
What you said.
Right, the O4 would have came out. Do you have to rebind with Cadix to O3? Yes. That's the give and take of it. Sky Control Productions was asking. When I'm flying with Cadix, it just says DJI FPV, meaning generic DJI like Cadix or whatever. And then you have the actual O3 setting that if I want to switch to my O3, I have to put the goggles in O3 setting and reset.
Generic.
You just said it. Oh, he says, oh, you just said it. Yeah. But I don't care. I don't mind. I'm old school. Yes, I still have the V2 goggles. I still love them. I don't need to upgrade to anything else. I'm slowly. I got so much shit to work on. I don't even care no more.
Well, you know what, Lawrence? I wanted to get in real quick. I wanted to mention because this one is a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we frown so much upon here in the drone community because of stuff like this.
Yes, I know where you're going with this. I'm setting it up now.
But the Canadian women's soccer team came under scrutiny this well, a week ago due to an incident after there was seen where there was a drone hovering over the practice of the New Zealand soccer team.
Yeah. This is the New Zealand team here practicing.
This took place over 2 incidents where the drone was seen hovering over their practice, and this took place on July 19th and on July 22nd. And after an investigation, and they filed a formal complaint, the New Zealand soccer team, after a formal investigation by the Canadian Olympic Committee. They found that where they happened to dismiss two people who work for
staff. Canadian staff.
The staff members, which is what's this guy's name? Joel Lombardi and Justine Madere. Joel Lombardi is an analyst, and Justine Madere happens to be an assistant coach. That he was actually operating the drone and was checking out their practice.
Hey, Gary, JSK.
And reporting back to her from what he was analyzing, I guess. So who knows what they were doing, but they were dismissed.
Well, it's funny, but this is the second time that Canada has been caught using drones to watch other teams during championships or during major games. So I thought everyone was as nice as Gary, but apparently not. And Jim's droning. Those guys are all cool from Canada, but these two, like you said, they made them go home, and this is not the first time that Canada's been caught watching other teams with the drone. I find it sad, but it's a no-win situation. And also, the coach resigned from the game today. Hey, Eldon, what's up?
Yeah, she actually
just for the game today.
Right, she did. She did suspend herself from the game, but I think they were looking at actually imposing steeper penalties on everyone that was involved.
Right. You showed the picture of the two that were. I wonder if it was my drone stolen from Newfoundland.
These are the two Joel Lombardi and Justine Madere.
Yeah. They aren't on the Canadian team, soccer team. They were the two culprits that were using a drone to spy on the Venezuela team, which, by the way, New Zealand. I'm sorry, New Zealand. I did see them playing today. I don't know what the results were, but the coach, to show that the coach had nothing to do with the two of their Canadian team members spying on New Zealand, the coach, like I said, decided to suspend herself from this game to show she had no knowledge of it, and that would not affect the outcome. What was the outcome of the game today? I know not. I'll probably see it on the news.
You know what I thought was interesting? They were fine. They were given 6 points.
Yeah,
they're giving up 6 points.
Oh, wow. Well, see, that's kind of messed up. But we do have something.
Is that spread out amongst all the games, or is that just?
I think just for this game. I hope, or else they would be ass out. Yeah.
Then they can't. Well, you know how hard it is to score 6 points in soccer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. How's things, Eldon? Hope all is well. But anyway, I think you should play that with the volume down some, the barbecue.
I told you I don't know how to turn the volume down.
Okay, well, let's get everybody's attention again.
Because the only volume that they do have control over is the volume on the let's see. I doubt. I'm telling you, it's gonna be loud.
Okay, well, we have to work on that volume thing, but it does play, that's for sure. Hold on, let's see. I'm refreshing my page. Anyway, for those of you who are interested and you're in the tri-state area and would like to attend the barbecue and or find out what it is to bring, you can contact us, Herman, via email. His email link is on the stream there.
You can bring whatever you feel like bringing. Friends and family. Right. Like I said, we're gonna have hamburgers and hot dogs and plenty of water available for you to.
Right. If you want anything stronger than water, you're gonna have to not let us know that you have it.
And you can't fly.
Right, and you're not going to be able to fly. Right, we will handcuff you to a chair. I'm just playing. We wouldn't, but we don't want guys out there drinking and flying anyway. So if we're the less we know, the better. Right?
Yeah. Well,
true. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Now we could drink during the live stream because we ain't gonna fly.
There you go. There you go. But anyway, for those of you who realize that I'm live on my channel as well, it was just a test thing to see if we could do it. It wasn't more so to do like other live streams. Sometimes it splits up the numbers and stuff of people. I don't know the purpose behind it, but we are just testing it to see if it actually works, which it does. Now, there's that subject, Herman.
I got an alert that you went live.
You got an alert that I went live. Wow. Now, the bill, the DJI bill, we're going to talk about that when Ryan comes on, but don't be that guy coming up. We don't be that guy.
What?
I gave this video a thumbs down. I'm waiting for you to introduce it.
What video are you talking about?
The Blue Angels. The idiot.
Yeah. Well, I really wasn't going to show it, but you could show it if you wanted to. I mean, feel free. I mean, that was some weird shit. I mean, don't be that guy. I mean,
don't be this guy. He was caught for posting this video. So this is an air show. There's a jet right here. Here are the Blue Angels flying. And this is a no-fly zone, keep in mind. All right. I think they've already started taking the videos down, but this guy was actually, how would I say? I don't know the end result. All I know, he was flying. He got caught for posting that footage.
You know what's funny?
Plain and simple.
It's funny that
Gary says, how many are expected at the barbecue? Gary, we honestly don't know because we're not asking anyone to RSVP. We're just, hey, View Chaser, we're gonna be out there with burgers and hot dogs and water and a couple of grills and
a grill.
Okay, a grill.
And we're gonna make some burgers and we're gonna make some hot dogs and we're gonna fly. And we're going to have hot dogs and we're going to have a hamburger.
Yeah, so as far as how many, I don't know. It won't be near 100.
If anybody wants to bring whatever they want to bring.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
So what you're saying is you're making fat guy vitamins just for me, correct? Fat guy vitamins? No, Dan. No.
Pretty much.
Well, all I can say is it'll be a meetup. Gary says how many people are coming. We have no idea. We'll find out last minute. The last one we had, a handful of people said they were showing, and more than a handful of people showed.
There's no
Still had enough food.
RSVP.
Huh?
Right. There's no RSVP. You know, just just come and hang out.
Right. And for
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people think, I mean, okay, I've been in the park a million times. I go there and I test every drone that I have. You know, whenever I get it, you know, before I use it. And I did my first video from there. And if you ever go there, you would say to yourself, wow, this is, I mean, it's a park. But once you get in the air, you realize there's a lot of things that will fascinate you. And you will realize that your drone, okay, let's watch this. The video shows locations and all around the park.
right.
And every one of those, I tell you right now, all of that video was shot with the Mini 3 Pro and standing in one location.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not cool with flying out over the water, you don't have to. You can just go straight up with your drone and turn around and shoot. If you don't mind going over the water and you're confident, there are certain barges. There's a yellow submarine. Right. Eldon's been there. In fact, that's where we met Eldon at Takeoff, Lift, and Land. It is a nice park, and they finally fixed the bathrooms in there. In the park. So the Parks Department won't tell you. Go to the exit of the park, go across the highway.
You got tired of the water and the vegetation.
Yeah, definitely. They've been working on those bathrooms for a long ass time.
Look at how much people go out there and play ball and barbecue and everything. You want everybody to go 2 blocks down, 1 block over.
Across a highway.
To get to the bathroom, that's the block over.
Yeah.
And that ain't happening. But you know what, Lawrence?
Yeah.
We have Ryan coming in to talk with us about a few things, even with that guy with the Blue Angels that you like so much. So let's bring Ryan in so Ryan can come in and talk to us about a few subjects that's going on out there. Hey, Ryan, what's going on?
Hey, I'm hopeful that you can hear me.
I can hear you. I saw you a minute ago. What happened to your camera there?
Well, I gotta make sure I'm connected here.
You were a minute ago.
Well,
Uh-oh.
If I can't get the ear pods to work, then I'm just gonna be on audio on the device here. We'll see.
Okay. We can hear you fine.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Now, what happened to your camera?
Oh no, don't tell me that didn't. That's not working.
There you go.
Is it starting to come around?
Yeah.
There we go. We got you. We got camera and we got sound.
Okay. I can't see myself, so that's all right.
You're good. You're okay. You know what you look like, though.
I do. Hopefully I do.
Don't worry. You don't have any mustard in your beard. You're okay. You're good to go.
You're fine.
I apologize. Normally I'm at home, and today I'm out and about. So yeah, you get a view of my truck. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Listen, don't worry about it. We appreciate it. There are a few things.
I know what it's like to be in the truck.
It's 92 degrees out right now too.
Well, tomorrow we'll be in the truck, and it's going to be 93.
Oh, okay.
Listen, don't promise me anything.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on with you? I hope all is well. It was a little hectic for you a little while. I hope the family is better, first of all.
Family is doing good now. Yeah,
That's good to
we
hear.
had some fun there for a while, but all is good.
All right, that's good to know.
Good.
Glad.
Um,
So
we
how are you feeling otherwise?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm happy as a clam. These summer days are warm, but I like the sunshine.
Mm.
It beats
Okay.
being in the clouds and cold. And
well, you could pick any topic you want to talk about first, because
go
ahead, Herman.
I did want to ask you about a few things, but when you talk about love being in the sunshine, I don't mind it as much myself, but I learned that I can take it in dosage and when I need it, I can use it when it's necessary, because having to work out in the sun with Lawrence and being chased by wasps and finding families of rats hanging out in equipment.
Yeah. It's not just a job; it's an adventure.
There's no fun in that.
I'm
with you though. You stand out in the sun too long, and it's like, where's some shade, or can I get indoors, cool off a little bit, and then go back out?
I wish we could. It's hard to do sometimes, because if we're on a rooftop,
and
even out on the road, I gotta
even
a tan, bro.
What happened? You got sunburn?
Got the farmer's tan. You hang the arm out the window, and
from
one arm gets tanned, right?
Oh, he's got the driving tan. Yeah.
The watch.
You got the driver's arm. You know that arm is always darker than the rest of your body, because it's
other arm is just as dark. It's just underneath the watch.
Then if you're outside and the farmer's tan is where you got your ball cap on, and so the back of your neck gets red, right? So there's redneck.
Yeah, well, our problem is having to wear hard hats.
Oh,
you know, when inspecting towers and stuff like that. So that's an issue. You're sweating already. The strap that's on your head protecting you is soaked, and water's running down your face while you're trying to work. Nothing better than that.
Absolutely.
Nothing better than that. But what I wanted to ask you about, what's going on with people shooting down police drones?
I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
It's been absolutely insane. Over the past month, we've had at least 3, right? Different episodes of shoot downs.
Yeah.
One in New York was a guy shooting down a neighbor's drone because, oh my gosh, that thing's over my property.
Wow.
Another one in Florida was shooting down a Walmart drone. Skeet with prizes, right?
I heard about that one.
And then the latest one, right, was in Kansas, where police were called to a scene of a crime. They got there and there was a disturbance. The guy had come out and was shooting at different things. That's why the police got called. He comes out, he spots the drone that the police had put up as far as, surveillance. Hey, what's going on? We need to figure this thing out. So the guy comes out and shoots at the drone, shoots at the police, ends up getting shot and himself and captured.
Right. They did not kill him. We have to point out.
Nope.
That's very different from here in New York. Usually when you hear the cops pull out a gun, someone's dead.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So he was fortunate that those police were trained properly to just maim you.
Right. Yeah.
In New York, cops pull a gun, you getting killed.
Yeah. So now what are results of that? Because from what I understand, he just got a death ticket.
So that's the kind of curious thing, right? So at this point,
that's the best, right?
Yeah, at this point, the FAA has only prosecuted one drone shooter that I'm aware of, and I shouldn't say the FAA. I should say the Department of Justice, because they're the ones that have to prosecute.
Okay.
And when
Right.
they did so, it was somebody who shot down a police drone in Georgia. But for any other, they've not used 18 USC 32 to prosecute anybody.
Mhm.
So instead, we have like the Walmart shoot down and the New York shoot down. Many of the charges that are leveled against these guys are, brandishing a firearm, illegal discharge of a firearm in a public space. So it's those kind of things, endangerment with a firearm. So it's all state level charges, or sometimes it's even local. You can't have a firearm in this area. You have to be outside of town. And so we're still not seeing the FAA take this seriously. The Department of Justice, lay down the law when it comes to USC or 18 USC 32. And that's frightening for us as drone pilots, because if we're going to continue to have people shoot down drones, at some point they're going to turn the gun on drone owners. And
Right.
we really need to have some example made to say, hey, if you're going to shoot down a drone, you're going to have huge fines, potential jail time, and maybe that sends a message: you don't want to do this. Take your ire elsewhere.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you mentioned that, because you just opened my eyes to something, and it just happens to be where is that some of the work that Lawrence and I are doing. Where we were actually at just the other day. There's a pole on the road, right? And there's several poles of power lines and everything, but there's on the top of the top of the tower is where the cell tower is, and there's a tree line that is just below it. And on the other side of that tree line is someone's property.
Yeah.
Where they live. Lawrence and I putting the drone up to capture the shots that we need for that tower could be under the same situation in a place where a guy is able to say, like, wow, what's that flying looking in my house?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And on the other side of the street is a summer camp with kids. So now people will, because the kids are screaming, no one can hear the drone, and the tree line that's around, you probably couldn't see it. But if someone said, hey, there's a drone watching the children,
right.
It's,
there's that extra sensitivity that, they're spying.
Who's flying that drone? What are they doing? Etc. And then Herman and I are on the road trying to do work, which we're authorized to be there to do. And somebody wants to come a shooting or come and interrupt what we are doing.
Yeah, and really, there was just a law that was passed in Iowa this past session that said you could not fly over another person's property without permission. Now, we know that that's preempted by federal law, but at the same token, you would have somebody saying, look, this is trespass. It doesn't matter that you're 300 feet above my property. You aren't even taking pictures of my property. You're taking pictures of the next door neighbor for the real estate agent. The law is written such that, that's trespass. And now you're going to be in trouble, even though you're completely legal in terms of your flight.
There was actually a situation with another drone pilot. We were listening to the conversation on the phone because we were actually being trained during training. So we get a real life situation where drone pilot calls and says, I have permission to be here. There's 24-hour access. And a gentleman came over and told me I'm on someone's property. So then the next question is it the gentleman's property? And the drone pilot said, no, it's not, but he's a neighbor. And he says it's his neighbor's property. And the guy goes, well, did he point a gun at you or anything? No, he didn't. So they call the local police. And because the neighbor said that this drone pilot was flying over this guy's property, the police officer told them, I'll take your name. They showed orders. They showed all the paperwork that needed to be shown to show he was authorized to be there. But the officer said he had to leave. So the guy packed up his stuff and left.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
And that's the challenge. And my hope is that drone pilot followed up with the police agency the next day and said, hey, look, let's clear this up so the next time this happens, you know the actual laws and you aren't, dismissing somebody who's flying legally.
Right. Well,
But you do have to
did not
pick
know
your
that
battles at the time, right?
Right. We did not know the outcome of that particular situation, but the guy got out of there safe. And I mean, he did mention, I believe, that the guy had a gun, but the guy wasn't brandishing the gun in front, but still, it's one of those situations. Hey, look, get out of there. The officer was nice about it. Everyone was calm, level-headed once the officer came and de-escalated everything. But those are the kind of things you need to worry about nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't want to run into them crazy, man.
Now, go ahead, Herman.
Oh, no crazy man out there shooting and blasting and stuff like that.
Yeah, for real. But now, maybe you could put some people at ease, Ryan, by talking about how DJI and how they respond, how they finally did get a chance to respond to the U.S. Senate and the CCP Counter Drones Act and all of this stuff. What's happening with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in that, right? So if we were to unpack everything, we might be a couple hours. But I think the first part is that the Senate did not include the language that was in the House version of the bill. That was a big win, because had they done that, then there's no need for reconciliation, at least on that portion, right? So that would be live. It'd go all the way through and be signed by the president and be in effect. Now what we have is the House version and the Senate version are different. So if that is going to go through, it's going to have to get through reconciliation. The likelihood of that is pretty small. So that's good news. Now let's talk about the bad news. Certain senators have recognized, oh yeah, this language didn't go through and we still want it to go through. And you have the House going, the sponsors of that bill, at least Stefanik was the big one out of New York. They are looking at that going, hey, wait a minute, we didn't got our way in the Senate. We need to correct that. So they've already started, and I didn't see the language yet post today, but they've already gone through and said, we are planning to do a larger anti-CCP drone act that's more inclusive. So yes, we can let down our guard for the moment on the NDAA, but coming forward is going to be this larger bill that says drone components as a whole from any Chinese manufacturer. So now we're talking about, expanding out this DJI quote unquote ban to Autel, Anzu, right? Anybody who's planning to use DJI or DJI parts or equipment or Chinese parts. Now, we could be talking about 95% of the industry.
True.
That's huge. So let's keep an eye out for that bill. And once it comes forward, everybody's going to have to write their senator and representative and say, hey, we need to shut this thing down.
That's right back to square one again.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
well, I was going to say, I think the other pieces that you were alluding to, right, is the idea of DJI coming forward and saying, all right, you keep accusing us of having your stuff come back to China. We're going to cut things off such that that's not happening. So the sync of records, right, the sync of flight logs, they've shut that down. Does that change things? Your guess is as good as mine, because honestly, no stuff was coming back anyway, right? I use an iPad that's not connected to the internet for my drone operations.
Right.
Good luck in having that go any place other than my iPad, right?
Right.
So I think, yes, they're doing it. It's for PR for the most part. Yes, there are some people that probably did do their flight logs, constantly sync them. Were those going to China? Well, no, but at least this gives that sense to legislators that, oh, well, yeah, the things that we were worried about, maybe those aren't in place any longer.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe we'll hear about some new deal with Amazon coming up later on. Now that the United States has relieved their servers of collecting DJI information.
I don't know.
But you know what I wanted to ask you about? What's going on with this flying during the TFR?
All right, so this is a unique one, and this goes back to the Kentucky Derby. So we all know that major sporting events like the Kentucky Derby or Indy 500 or Super Bowl, these have TFRs that go in place. And in the case of the Kentucky Derby, it's usually always been on Derby Day, right? That we'd have a TFR in place, and you would know, hey, don't fly. Well, this past year they expanded it out to prior to the Derby Day. And one individual was flying. He'd always been flying in this particular place. He's got a regular client. He went out there. He had previously been submitting his request to fly. So he did not look on that day to see, is there a TFR in place? It was assumed there wasn't because that had never been the case. So he flew, immediately met by all the three-letter agencies you can think of, right?
Could imagine.
And confiscated the drone, wrote him a ticket. Now the ticket was for state level citations. They took all the information, and then he ends up in court. Now, here's the curious thing. If you violate a TFR, you better expect that the FAA is going to be calling you, knocking on your door, sending you a letter.
Right.
That didn't happen here. Why? Because the authorities did not engage the FAA for whatever reason, and that's mind-boggling. Instead, what the state police chose to do was to take and weaponize Kentucky law. But the Kentucky law actually is inverse of this, right? The Kentucky law basically says you can fly a drone in the state of Kentucky. Right. That's what the law really tells. And they've weaponized it to say, we're charging you with this because you were not flying the drone legally because you were operating in a TFR. That was their whole idea. So this is going to cost the guy probably a couple of good $1,000 or more to try to get out of the state level charges that should not be applicable at all.
Right.
And then even after that, he may still have to deal with the FAA, right?
I didn't want to cut you off, but sorry. But I have a question. How are they charging him on the state level with a federal crime?
And that's the interesting thing, right? And I was consulting with the attorney in this. The nature of him flying is a violation of the TFR. The nature of him having a drone launch and land is not, right? Because if it's on the ground, which is the jurisdiction of the state, then he's not flying. Right? So there's no violation of the TFR if the drone is on the ground. It's only when the drone gets airborne is there a violation of the TFR. So at that point, jurisdiction completely changes to the FAA. And that's the head scratcher in all of this. How you can conceivably say he's under our jurisdiction on land use by violating a TFR. You can't.
That's how they're weaponizing a law on the state level, a federal law on the state level.
Yeah, well, it's their law is a state level law, and
Right.
the state level law says you can fly legally, or you can fly in the state legally if you are following all FAA regulations.
Right.
So they looked at that and they said, "Oh, wait, we're going to twist this, and because this guy was violating TFR, right? Then he can't be then it's a violation of our law because he's not following FAA regulations." So it's like a double jeopardy, really, right?
Right.
Okay, I got what you're saying, because every state in the country has the same thing, which means that now that Hawaii can charge him with the same crime now.
That's what this
That he
spells
did
out, right?
Any state now can charge him now because he did break the law on the federal law.
Well, yeah. So you're in New York, and I gotta think what the New York law is. But if I'll say Michigan, right? So Michigan says you can fly in the state, provided that you follow state and federal regulations. That's what the law is. So now, if I go fly and suddenly I violate any federal regulation, let's say I go 401 foot, right? I'm no longer in compliance with federal regulations. So the interest there is, hey, let's twist this, and we're going to charge you on the state level for violating federal regulations. And it's mind-boggling. It's wrong. It's not their jurisdiction. They can't do that. So we're going to see how it plays out.
Well, you of course know that what's going on with the NYPD here in New York, charging $150 per flight. That's not in their jurisdiction either, but they are allowed to do it, and they're allowed to get away with it, and they've been getting away with it, and people have been paying it.
It's insane.
So I just wish somebody would come up with a law for a drone pilot that says, hey, I don't have to deal with this bullshit. Pretty much. I wish it were that easy, but it's not.
What you really need is for, like Ryan was talking about earlier, was for them to say that, come up with a way of dealing with people shooting at these drones. You got to make somebody an example now.
Yes.
So that way the rest of everybody else that's got that idea won't do it. You got to come up with something for that, because next will be the guy that's flying it. If it comes to that. Now, I mean, you're probably not going to walk over to Walmart and be like, who the hell is this flying this drone over my yard? But but you can and will go in for the guy doing real estate or a power line or something like that. Yeah, you might do that.
Yep.
Yeah, for us that are out there doing cell tower inspections and rooftop arrays, like for example, we have a rooftop we have to shoot, and we will. It's on the side of a church, but it's still flyable. For things like that, I could see someone now. Hey, why are you taking pictures of the church? We haven't had it happen, but I could see that happening.
Yeah, and I was just I was flying here just the other day, and had an individual come over to me and, hey, what are you doing? You're flying near my house, and I'm like, I'm not anywhere near your house and not looking at your house. And he says, well, I've had people, flying their drone up to my windows, and so we called the cops. I'm like, please, yeah, I hope you did. And I said, what did they tell you? They said, we aren't going to do anything.
Exactly.
And so I had a nice conversation about hey, what are drone laws, and hey, here's what I'm doing here, I'll even show you, and
you have
we
to
had a
like
great conversation. But yeah,
but he walked away feeling different.
Exactly. Now, speaking about shooting things down, right, and I just saw this one this afternoon. New York I understood they had a TFR for your fireworks on the 4th of July.
Yes, they did. Yes, they do every year.
And they publicized that the New York City Police were going to shoot down any drones that they saw because they could be weaponized and dangerous and have explosives. That's what they were into.
That's the garbage they were trying to spiel amongst the streets.
Yeah.
But the only I saw there were police flying drones. There were police, of course. That's their job. They go up. They see where somebody's launching a lot of mortars, which are illegal in New York, and then they have the drone say, "All right, they're keeping him." I saw it happen one time years ago. I was watching the police drone watch the guys. And what actually they fly from the police precinct and they don't go too far, but wherever somebody's launching fireworks, they look down, they give a description of where they're getting the fireworks from, and then when a police car comes on the block, they all scatter around and they go back to whatever they were doing, and then the detectives walk up and say, "Open the trunk of that car right there." You know, and that's how they were catching people. So I understand that there should be a TFR, but there were many drones in the air during the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's funny about that, right? There was an event here in New York, and someone asked me to get some shots for them at the event. So I showed up at the event, and NYPD is at the event. So now I know I don't have a permit to fly for the day. And I'm like, wow. So I said to the guy, I was like, I don't have a permit to fly here for the day. He was like, oh, wow. Damn. Because I thought you could just fly. And I was like, no, it's New York City. I got to have a permit, especially if they're here. So I went and spoke to the police. And I said, I wanted to ask you a question. The guy that was throwing this event, he wanted me to get a couple of shots from him from up, in the air with the drone, but I don't have a permit for the day. He was like, "Oh, go ahead. Only thing that can happen is that the sergeant will come and tell you to take it down."
Yep.
Because we don't care. Other than that, you don't have to worry about it until the sergeant comes. I was
all
like,
good by them.
I was
Right.
like,
If the sergeant comes, then they have to do their job and say, "Hey, stop doing what you're doing."
right, exactly. I'm like, nah, I can't trust that one.
Right.
If
They could care less.
I said, if all you guys say that it's okay, I'm good, I'll do it. But if not, no, because when your sergeant comes, he's gonna ask you why you're not working, and then I'm gonna be the example.
Yeah. And sometimes in situations like that, like right now, it's summer season in New York. So they have the police flying drones up and down the beach looking for sharks because this is the hottest time of the year. And sharks, the fish come further north. So the sharks come further north. In fact, they go up to the tip of Long Island for some reason. Between Long Island and Rhode Island is a gigantic nursing area. I didn't know. Where a lot of the major sharks go to nurse, huh?
You can blame that on clean water.
Yeah, because the cleaner the water, the bigger the fish are. The bigger the fish, the more sharks come, and it goes on. But flying along the beach, they're so interested in just showing the people their new M30 and things. They're not really. They don't give a damn. And I've spoken with detectives. They say, I appreciate that you've given me the respect to not fly here. And I let them know as soon as your drone is on the ground, I'm up in the air. And that they don't mind. They don't mind. As long as I'm not trying to fly while they're running back and forth along the beach. They're fine. But you have supervisors that come by. Hey, what's this kid doing? What's this guy doing? Talking to you, and it may be a different story. So all we can do is just hope they don't start making up laws off the top of their heads, man.
Yeah.
Most cops in New York City don't even know about this $150 drone permit. I would
Yep.
go as far as to say 85 to 87% of the police officers in New York City do not know that you need to pay $150 to fly on that day, 30 days in advance.
Telling you,
And
that's
he-
what the guy told me. He said, we don't care. But if the sergeant comes and he says something, then we got to tell you to come down.
Yep.
Right. So fortunately, the beaches I used to fly, I know most 95% of the parks department. I know the police that go up there. I know the ambulance workers that go and chill under air conditioning, hoping that they're not called, for drowning or whatever. But it pays to know people where you fly frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, Bill. What's happening in Michigan these days?
With the University of Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get to that.
So this is the big one in Michigan. A while back, we had looked to do a fly-in at the University of Michigan because the University of Michigan had a anti-drone ordinance that said you could not launch, land, operate from the property, or fly over university property. So there's a few problems with this. Number one, we all know that FAA has jurisdiction over the airspace, so the university is preempted in that over their property. That's the first piece. The second one is that Michigan has a state preemption law that says no political subdivision can create or enforce their own drone ordinance. So
Okay.
right then and there, right, you look at the University of Michigan, whose regents, their board is publicly elected, right? So they are a political sub-entity of the state. So they are prohibited by state law from having this ordinance.
Okay.
As a result, right, we've contacted them several times over and said, you can't have this. And we were going to do a fly-in. They sent a very threatening letter to one of our organizational members that said, if you plan to fly, we will put you in jail for the weekend.
Wow.
We will fine you tremendously, and we're going to confiscate your equipment. So right there, that's telling you, okay, if you're going to plan to challenge this, you're going to be paying consequences.
Right.
So we filed suit, an injunction. We're looking for an injunction to force the University of Michigan to either take their ordinance off the books entirely or not enforce that ordinance. And we're not asking for any money from the university in the lawsuit, right? So this is not a lawsuit about money. It's a lawsuit to make sure that we can fly. Briefs were filed on both our side and their side. Interestingly enough, they came back and they were looking for a summary disposition, meaning they want to dismiss the case, and pointing to the FAA UAS fact sheet. Now, most of us know that the FAA UAS fact sheet is literally telling local governments, do not attempt to create your own drone ordinances. And yet here was the university trying to quote that and say, this allows us to do it. So that case is going to come up this next month. We're looking at probably 2 to 3 weeks before we have that go in front of the judge. The judge will have to decide, do we have a hearing on that case? Does he make the summary motion at the time? So we don't know exactly where this ends up, other than probably this next month we're going to hear something. But yeah, so I think the kind of interesting piece of this, what it really started out as, we had a couple people contact me and say, hey, I was at my buddy's house in their backyard and flew over campus property when the campus police showed up, came into the backyard and told us that they were going to arrest us if we didn't take and get our drones down now, which kind of is interesting, right? Because here they're trying to say aerial trespass when they're literally trespassing in somebody's private yard,
Right.
and have no jurisdiction whatsoever. So it was very interesting,
Right.
and that's where all this lawsuit comes out of.
Well, I don't know. I think that's a little crazy. I mean,
just a tad.
Yeah. So they admit to quit. So they admit to quit.
Go figure. No, and the reality is what they've argued in their briefs is they said, look, we are putting in place an ordinance to protect the safety of students on the ground and equipments and buildings. Well, the FAA fact sheet, if you read that thing through, it literally says you cannot do this for the sake of safety of people on the ground and equipment and things. It's completely inverse. So this is another one where they've twisted it.
Where do you go from here? What's the next step? What can be done?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the next thing is we have to wait for the suit to go through the court. Honestly, I anticipate this will be just like all the other lawsuits that we've had against other counties, where the judge will say, yes, you're talking about a political subdivision of the state. They are not able to create or enforce, and he will grant the injunction. So if an injunction is granted, then what that establishes is if the university were to come out and try to enforce it, right? So they're saying, hey, you got to get that drone down. You're not allowed to be here. You're not going to ticket you, etc. Then they're in violation of they're violating your liberties, right? So at that point, you can file a 1983 lawsuit. 1983 lawsuit is basically saying you've violated my civil rights and I'm entitled to compensation. Most of those start at $150,000 a violation.
Wow. Really quick, there's a question here. Is there any worry that state schools could be in a big push to get the preemptive removed? John,
yes and no. So we do know that all universities in the state of Michigan have a anti-drone ordinance, and we've contacted each one of those to let them know, hey, this is a problem. Most of them have replied to say, we understand, and so we are not enforcing. I know that they are interested in lobbying the legislature to change the law.
Right.
A couple have tried in the past, and the legislature has said, no, this is understandable as to why we originally did it. The circumstances have not changed. We want drones to fly freely. We are accepting of the FAA's request that no local governments do create their own ordinances, because the FAA has repeatedly articulated, if you create your own local ordinance, then you created a patchwork quilt of legislation, and you are actually endangering the national airspace. Because if I, as a pilot, think, oh, I can fly here, but I look up and I can't fly there, and oh, I can fly here, but I got to pay a fine, then what you're doing is you're at some point going to have that drone pilot go, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to fly. And maybe that's an area that is a TFR. Maybe it's a near an airport where you shouldn't be, right? So that's where that focus is by the FAA. Leave it to us. We regulate aircraft. Keep yourself to your own little area as to what you do, but the skies are ours.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm glad you say that, because I think that becomes an issue across the board when it comes to drone pilots now, because, and I hate to keep using New York as an example, but New York is a perfect example, because they've created the patchwork quilt of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable because of due to knowledge and lack of knowledge. And when you get into certain places, like we all know New York, how it's divided, we get into like the outer boroughs, what we mentioned, meaning outside of Manhattan, which is the central part of the city. And the police, like Lawrence has said, probably don't even know about this permit thing, but drone flight is somewhat acceptable in these areas depending on how close you are to the airport.
Right.
Lance approval is even approvable in areas of New York City where drone flight is prohibited, period. But that's neither here nor there. And I think the guys start to weigh what's acceptable and what's not acceptable on their own, and then that becomes an issue with it when you start talking about this patchwork quilt.
Yeah, and we take it even one further, right? That Congress in the latest FMRA, they literally made it a requirement that the FAA is supposed to come out with a new notice of proposed rulemaking to allow beyond visual line of sight flight. Mm-hmm. So at the end of this year, we're going to see an NPRM come out asking for comments, and to come 2025, we'll have an ease of the visual line of sight restrictions. So you're going to be able to stand outside of New York, right? Or outside of whatever podunk town has their own ordinance, and fly over it without having to have visual line of sight. And what would you rather have? Would you rather have somebody that, hey, I can see the drone and maybe this is not a great situation for something on the ground, or I'm 2 miles away and I'm over whatever. I can't see what's on the ground, but I'm flying.
I'm putting my fingers in my ears, going la 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 la. I'm trying. I'm trying my best not to respond.
Well, truthfully speaking, if they get it their way, and you can only use the Skydio and everything else, you won't be able to do that anymore.
True.
Well,
true.
It'll expand out more than that. In fact, I don't know if you just saw, but on yesterday, the FAA announced that there was a couple of companies, like the Zipliner is one, that are going to be allowed to fly beyond visual line of sight.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite capable. I'm talking about something that we can actually control with a remote.
It's coming though. It's coming. 2025. It's coming fast.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, with all of these, I do agree with what you said earlier. An example needs to be made, but there just seems to be a rash of people shooting down drones. The incident here in New York, other incidents across the United States that are starting to pop up more and more, and local jurisdiction is saying, hey, we'll handle this, and not even contacting the FAA. It leads me to believe that most of these guys that are fighting for these laws against drones don't know a damn thing about drones or drone laws.
Well, they probably don't, but I think that they're starting to recognize certain things.
Yeah, what they can get away with and what they can't. Like I used to ask Herman, how come the FAA doesn't jump in on this NYC police thing, them charging 150? And you know what he told me? You don't worry about shit until you step in it. So, and unless there's going to a rash of people shooting drones out of the sky, I honestly think the FAA is going to be, shh, it'll go away. They have that type of mentality. Honestly, if we stay quiet and don't move, like that dog that does something bad and he looks away and says, if he can't see me, if I can't see him, he can't see me. That same concept. Be very quiet and they'll leave us alone. Kids knocking on the door for Halloween, trick or treat, and they don't answer the door. Shh. It's the same thing. That's what I think the FAA is doing. Seriously. What do you think all this is about?
You see what John Cooper was saying, Lawrence?
Hold on. Similar problem here in Missouri. We have no state-based preemption, so there are a lot of nonsense laws in the books in various cities and country and counties, many of whom have no clue of what they're doing. Yeah. The only thing, though, I totally understand why the university may not want drones to be operated from their property. But I also see that if you don't fight the universities on it being a state entity, then the preemption loses teeth.
They will do whatever they can. But that's anyone. You know, you give a guy an inch, he's gonna take a yard. You give a guy, a foot, he's going to take a mile.
This is true. I don't know where we go from here. I'm not saying that I'm going to stop inspecting cell phone towers tomorrow either. You know, we have to keep doing what we're doing. We have to keep sending in information from the Drone Advocacy Alliance. There's a bunch of things that can be done.
Oh yeah,
it's just a matter of people getting together. Just the way people were filling out the drone advocacy and contacting their senators, we need to keep doing it.
Well, yeah, I think that's the key, right? So the more conversations we have with elected officials and the education of elected officials, they're going to buy into this, that drones are not the harmful things and terrible, trespassing, spying things that some people make them out to be. And if we can calm that noise, right, and have some educated folks on our side, then these laws don't get put into place in the first place. It's so much easier to convince a person a law is not needed than it is to try to get that law undone after the fact.
True.
So the more we can do up front, the better off we are.
True. I agree. I mean, we need to keep pushing. We need to keep doing everything we can to stay abreast of what's happening, because it seems like it's a wave traveling across the United States with these drone shootings and these counties and local municipalities creating their own drone laws. But we saw a lot of that in Long Island. At one time here in Long Island in New York, I haven't been out there in a while to fly, but there were towns saying, if you want to fly here, you have to apply for a permit. You ask where to go apply for the permit. Well, I don't know, but go to City Hall. They got to have information on it. And then you get to City Hall, and how much do I have to pay to fly here? And they go, well, let me go ask somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Herman?
Well, you know what? I think what weighed very heavy with this, and it's not even with so much of like local and stuff like that, but overall, and talking about everything that's been going on recently, when it comes down to the jeopardy of operations, for anyone when it comes to the usage of drones, I think that it ties in almost across the board when it comes to everything. And even with trying to ban and trying to stop, and you hurt so much of the industry that it opens the doors for everything to be a part of. It's like no one man is an island. The thing that I do affects someone directly or indirectly, because it sets off a chain reaction of events.
The butterfly effect.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that.
I think
that's what's going on right now in the drone community or the drone world, period.
In the chat here, real quick, Takeoff Eldon puts, flying drones recreationally is almost dead, followed by close by Part 107 license holders. If you're not doing commercial work, your flying is being lessened daily with a lot of self-imposed rules in New York City. Basically, recreational flying is coming down to a nil. It's coming to the point where we knew this. They want you to fly inside your FRIA and be happy with that. It's getting to the point now where people have to observe and watch where they go to fly. Even though they used to fly there a long time ago, you may not be able to fly there now. Herman and I have Phantom 4 Pro footage that a lot of those places you cannot fly in New York City anymore. And if I was to post something, someone would be like, look what he's doing. And I tell the dummy to look at the metadata.
You know what's funny? And you say that. I was going through footage at the area for trying to put that video together. And I was looking at Phantom 4 footage, Lightbridge 2 footage.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I can't show this.
Yeah. With Lightbridge. Now we're on OcuSync 3 now.
This is not because of the quality of the video, but because of pre-law.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. To show anything old nowadays, you'd have to put the metadata there too to prove that back then we could do that.
Well, and the other piece is that as an industry and as a hobby, we as operators have to start doing a better job of self-policing. We've always talked about it, but it's getting to a point where there are some scary things that are happening. And I know I sent you a video clip of a guy.
We showed that.
Florida.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that too.
We showed that earlier. I'm going to see if I can pull it back up while you guys are talking.
The Blue
Just
Angels.
Insane that the video clip I sent you was a short clip. The actual clip, the full thing, he is literally positioning himself. He knows they're coming. The clip, I gave you the little piece, but the full clip has it where you can't even see the smoke on the screen. He's waiting for those jets to arrive. He knows they're coming. He's looking for a spot to be in a position to film them. And there's a TFR. And, you know, he's probably within 100 feet of those things. And if he were to have hit them, the drone's demolished. And he goes, oh, well, I lost the drone. But we lost, as American taxpayers, at least one aircraft, and they could have all crashed into each other as a result. You could have fatalities and the whole works. We need to step on his neck a little bit, right? And say, what the hell are you doing? Let's not do that again. And then just like we're doing now, let everybody know that's not right. Look up your TFRs. When you see somebody doing something wrong, engage them and tell them, hey, you're doing something wrong. The education that we can do with new users coming in, or even with, I've seen Part 107 guys that, hey, they got their Part 107 because that gives them a license to do anything they damn well want. No, it doesn't. So let's rein this in, and then we can see the FAA ease restrictions.
My question is, why wasn't something done, and why was he not made an example of? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we have an air show here in New York City, and they use aeroscope or whatever they use to show to prevent you from flying during the air shows. You cannot tell me that out of all that tech and all that air, nobody did anything about it or saw what happened. I just refuse to believe nothing was done. We lost Ryan, his picture, I think.
Lost his video?
Yeah, he lost video. He's still there. It might be a connection or something. I don't know. But here's that video that Ryan was talking about. I'm going to share it again. This is what you should not do as a drone pilot.
Don't be that guy.
No way, shape, or form, because if you are, you're effing it up for everybody. But you can see the jets right here in the distance. And there's a chase jet, of course, that always follows every performance. So this chase jet is higher than him, and these jets are below. This is it right here. Yep. Totally. He should be made an example of. I can't say anything if, ands, or buts about it.
Just absolutely stupid.
To be this close, yes. And I'm just, in awe that they did not, and I repeat, they did not find him, detect him, until this video was posted.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He posted this out kind of bragging. Oh, look at the footage I got. Yeah,
Right.
look at the damage you did to the community, right? And
he was up higher than those planes.
yeah. And so I'm sure at this point he's taken it down. So I'm sure at this point he's had a knock on his door from probably a naval officer, right?
At least at a minimum.
Right.
Someone should have knocked his door in and said, "Where is he?" You know, grabbed him up by his collar and pippity papped him a few times, because that was really, really stupid. But anyway, look, Ryan, I know it's a long week for you. It's going to be a long weekend for Herman and I, but it's that time.
That actually should be like a door kick in. You know, like
that's what I'm saying. Grab him up in his collar and give him a couple of pippity paps across the jaw.
I want to say like 3-something, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wake up,
you know?
Paul.
Yep.
Swatting.
Like 3:50, like 3:55 a.m. Just kicking his door, FAA with the cops and everything like that. They just come in. They want to see him. They got the video on like a little screen and everything like that. They want the guy that shot it, and then hem him up a little bit, question him for a couple hours, make him delete it in front of them, make him hand over the SD card, and then leave.
Listen, it's that time, guys. We got to get out of here, and I got to get up early in the morning.
There you go.
Back to the grind.
It was good talking to you both. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you every time you come on, and for letting us know what's going on in outside of New York and in the drone world. You know, you always got a platform here.
Well, you know.
All right. Well, thank you, and much appreciated. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, man. Be safe. Thank you again.
All right.
All right.
I'll see you.
All right.
But you know what you forgot, Lawrence? You forgot our sponsors. You forgot the guys that actually.
We were having deep conversation, bro.
Yeah.
But we can hit a sponsor before we leave.
Okay, we got
a sponsor or two.
Jonah Deere. For those of you guys who's looking to scale your operations, well, all you got right here is one-stop shopping on record keeping. Jonah Deere. You got record keeping. You got build your own website right here, and tools to make you a more knowledgeable product. Check it out, Jonah Deere. Feel free to jump on it. There's links in the descriptions. Don't waste time. Jump on it right now. And also, if you're looking to put your drone in the hard case for 10% off, this Phantom Flight 10. Feel free to copy that. Phantom Flight 10. For those of you who need 10% off on all your hard cases, even what do you call it? Backpacks they got too for your drones and all your cameras.
They can search for backpacks as well.
So feel free, 10% off. Use that coupon code. And with that being said, Lawrence, anything else you need to say?
Be safe, fly safer. And
we'll see you next time with
those guys.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Peace.